I've always prided myself on living a life that was orderly and predictable. Every detail was meticulously planned. My workdays ran on a set schedule, my evenings were spent in quiet solitude at home, and even my leisure was mapped out on my digital calendar. I found comfort in routine, a shield against the chaos of an unpredictable world. But one late autumn evening, everything changed. It began with a sudden ping on my phone as I sat at my desk, half listening to the hum of office chatter. I glanced at the screen and saw a notification that didn't belong to any app one usually used. The message was elegantly brief. Exclusive elite event, confirm your invitation. Code, Olympus. For a split second, I thought it was a mistake, a stray alert from a marketing email perhaps, but something about the message made my heart skip a beat. The code Olympus evoked images of grandeur and secret power, and I couldn't shake the feeling that it was meant for me. I scrolled through my inbox, searching for any sign that I had signed up for such an event. Nothing. My calendar was blank for the coming weekend, and my recent orders and subscriptions bore no resemblance to what the message implied. Curiosity morphed into a thrill I hadn't felt in years. I couldn't help but wonder if this notification was a glitch or if, perhaps, someone had been watching me from afar, orchestrating an invitation to a world I had never dared to enter. Was it possible that my quiet existence had been punctuated by secret events all along, hidden behind the veneer of my ordinary life? My mind raced with possibilities as I saved the notification and stared at it repeatedly. The message was simple, yet it resonated with the promise of an extraordinary escape, a chance to step out of the drudgery and into a realm of luxury and mystery. That night, I barely slept. I lay awake in the darkness of my room, the notification glowing faintly on my phone as I replayed it over and over. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw visions of a glamorous venue, a place where velvet curtains, crystalline chandeliers, and polished marble floors would set the stage for an elite gathering beyond my wildest imaginings. The idea that I might be invited to such a place ignited something deep within me, a dormant longing for adventure and passion that had been buried under years of predictable routine. In the early hours of the morning, I made a decision. I would follow the call of this mysterious alert. I didn't know if it was a mistake or a secret designed just for me, but the thrill of the unknown was too intoxicating to resist. I double-checked my calendar and email, searching for any trace of prior planning. There was nothing, only the misplaced notification and annoying curiosity that urged me to break free. The next day was a strange blur. Every time my phone vibrated, I found myself expecting another message, a further clue or an invitation to join this elusive world. I spent my lunch break scribbling notes in a battered journal. Notification received. Code, Olympus. Unknown sender. Possible secret invitation? I began to piece together a mental map of my life, wondering how many hidden signals I might have missed while busy living the mundane. I decided to prepare as if I were about to attend a grand masquerade ball. That afternoon, I rummaged through my closet, searching for something that would speak to both elegance and mystery. I settled on a tailored, deep burgundy blouse paired with a sleek, black pencil skirt. I added a pair of subtle, silver earrings that caught the light when I moved and a delicate pendant that I'd once bought on a whim. As I applied my makeup, a touch of smoky eyes and a bold red lip, I felt a transformation stirring within me. It was as though I was unveiling a hidden facet of my identity, one that longed for freedom and adventure. I reread the notification one more time before leaving for work. Exclusive elite event, confirm your invitation. Code, Olympus. I couldn't help but shiver with anticipation. What if this was my chance to break free from the routine that had, until now, defined me? I resolved that if the invitation turned out to be genuine, I would attend without hesitation. That evening, after a long day at work, I decided to take a different route home, a detour that allowed me time to think about the mysterious message. As I walked along rain-slicked sidewalks beneath the glow of streetlights, my mind replayed the notification again and again. Every step I took felt like a journey toward the unknown, each raindrop on my skin a reminder that the mundane could suddenly become magical. At home, I sat at my desk and opened my email inbox. There it was again, a follow-up message that I hadn't noticed before. This email, sent from an address that read no-reply@olampus-events.com, contained details for an exclusive event that was scheduled for that very night. The message was cryptic yet alluring. Dear Ms. Thompson, we are pleased to confirm your invitation to the Elite Olympus Gala, an evening of refined indulgence and clandestine connections. Please arrive at the celestial venue at 11:30 p.m. Dress code, formal chic. We await your presence. Sincerely, the Olympus Events team. My heart pounded. I had no recollection of applying or signing up for such an event. Yet, every word of the email seemed to pull me toward a destiny I had never known. I stared at the screen for what felt like an eternity before a small, determined part of me whispered, "Go." And so, with an excitement tinged with nervous apprehension, I replied with a single word, "Yes." I spent the remainder of the day in a state of electric anticipation. Every moment was charged with possibility, every mundane task a prelude to the extraordinary. I wondered what secrets the evening might reveal, who I might meet, what revelations might unfold, and whether this misplaced notification was a gift or a test. As the clock inched toward the evening, I left my apartment with a mixture of apprehension and resolve. I hailed a rideshare and, with my heart thrumming in my ears, began the journey to the celestial venue. The city at night was transformed, a shimmering mosaic of neon lights, reflective puddles, and hushed whispers that hinted at hidden lives. I marveled at the way the urban landscape took on a dreamlike quality, as if I were stepping into a realm where the rules of the everyday no longer applied. The ride took me through quiet, rain-washed streets until the car finally pulled up in front of the celestial venue. The building was a vision of modern luxury, a sleek, glass facade structure that exuded elegance and mystery. As I stepped out of the car, the cool night air greeted me like a gentle caress, and I took a deep breath, steadying myself for what lay ahead. At the entrance, a discreet security guard greeted me with a polite nod and checked my invitation against a digital list. "Good evening, Ms. Thompson," he said in a low voice. "Welcome to the celestial venue. Please, follow me." I followed him through a set of revolving doors into a grand lobby bathed in soft, ambient light. The interior was a harmonious blend of contemporary design and subtle opulence. Marble floors gleamed beneath my feet, and tasteful art installations adorned the walls. A gentle melody played from hidden speakers, setting a serene yet expectant mood. I was directed to an elegantly appointed reception area where a hostess with a warm smile handed me a printed pass that read, "Elite Olympus Gala, Ms. Thompson." I clutched the pass tightly, feeling as if it were a key to a secret world that I had long only dreamed of. The hostess informed me that the event would begin promptly at 11:30 p.m. in the grand ballroom, and then after the dinner, an exclusive after-party would follow at a chic rooftop lounge. My pulse quickened as I realized that every element of the evening had been designed to evoke mystery, elegance, and a touch of clandestine allure. Before the event commenced, I was invited to explore a private lounge off to one side of the lobby, a space reserved for early arrivals and for those who wished to mingle quietly before the main event. I took a seat on a plush sofa and sipped a delicate cocktail served in fine crystal. As I looked around, I observed other guests quietly engaged in hushed conversation. Their expressions were a mixture of anticipation and subtle intrigue, as if each person carried their own secret story. I couldn't help but wonder if, like me, they had all received misplaced notifications or if they had knowingly entered this elite circle for reasons of their own. I pulled out my phone and reread the confirmation email one last time. "Your invitation to the Elite Olympus Gala has been confirmed. We eagerly await your presence." The words resonated in the quiet of the lounge. I felt that the night was not merely an escape from routine but an invitation to rediscover parts of myself that had been dormant for too long, a call to embrace spontaneity, passion, and the beauty of the unexpected. At precisely 11:30 p.m., the lights in the main lobby dimmed slightly, and soft music shifted to a more dramatic tone. A subtle announcement informed us that the gala was about to begin. I rose from my seat, feeling both nervous and exhilarated, and made my way to the grand ballroom. The room was breathtaking, a vast space filled with glittering chandeliers, elegantly set tables, and a live band that played a hauntingly beautiful melody. The guests were dressed in formal chic attire, the atmosphere was one of refined celebration. I felt a pang of awe as I realized that I was now part of something extraordinary, a secret rendezvous orchestrated by a misplaced notification that had, quite unexpectedly, set my destiny in motion. I took a seat at a table draped in white linens and silver accents, and as the courses began to arrive, a sumptuous array of delicacies artfully prepared and presented, I listened intently to the murmurs of conversation around me. There were whispers about exclusive connections, hints of romantic escapades, and subtle confessions that seemed to float on the air like delicate perfume. It was then that I noticed him, the mysterious admirer I had only ever suspected might exist. He was seated at a nearby table, his presence understated yet impossible to ignore. Dressed in a tailored navy suit and with an air of quiet confidence, he seemed to watch the room with discerning eyes. Our gazes met briefly, and in that fleeting moment, an unspoken connection was forged, a silent promise that our paths were meant to cross. The remainder of the dinner passed in a blur of exquisite flavors and muted, meaningful glances. I found myself increasingly drawn to the man with the navy suit, as if an invisible thread connected our souls. At one point, during a lull in conversation, he approached my table. "Bonsoir," he said softly, his voice measured and warm. I couldn't help but notice that we seemed to be sharing a similar fate tonight. I offered a shy smile in return, my heart pounding as I replied, "It appears that the night has more in store for us than we ever imagined." His eyes, dark and sincere, held a depth that suggested he, too, had secrets of his own. He introduced himself as Alexandre, and over the course of the evening, our conversation unfolded in gentle, unhurried exchanges. Alexandre revealed that he had been receiving his own series of mysterious notifications, enigmatic messages that led him to secret elite events and sumptuous getaways. He spoke of a hidden network of kindred spirits, a world where the boundaries between the ordinary and the extraordinary blurred into one. As we talked, I felt my long-buried desires stirring, the desire for connection, for adventure, for a life that dared to break free from the strictures of routine. Before the dinner concluded, a discreet notification appeared on my phone: after-party invitation, rooftop rendezvous. Departure, 12:15 a.m. I glanced at Alexandre, and in that silent exchange, we both understood that the night was far from over. With a mutual nod, we agreed to meet at the designated location. I excused myself from the table, my mind racing with the promise of what the after-party might hold. After bidding farewell to the elegant ambience of the grand ballroom, I found myself stepping into the cool night air once again. The rideshare that had brought me to the celestial venue dropped me off at the building's side entrance, where a discreet staircase led to the rooftop lounge. My heart pounded with anticipation as I ascended, each step a testament to the secret journey I had unwittingly embarked upon. The rooftop lounge was a revelation. Set against a panoramic view of the city's glittering skyline, the space was a perfect blend of modern chic and intimate elegance. Soft, ambient lighting bathed the area in a warm glow, and plush seating areas were arranged around small fire pits that flickered gently in the night. A live acoustic band played a soulful melody that intertwined with the soft murmur of conversation. I took a moment to stand at the edge of the terrace, looking out over the vast urban expanse. The city, with its endless twinkling lights and distant hum of activity, felt like an ocean of possibility, each light a hidden secret, each shadow a whispered promise. It wasn't long before I saw him again, Alexandre, standing by one of the fire pits, his silhouette outlined against the luminous cityscape. He offered me a warm smile, and as I approached, we exchanged a few words that were both light and laden with meaning. "I'm glad you followed the invitation," he said softly, his voice barely above a whisper. "Tonight feels like the beginning of something that transcends ordinary chance." I nodded, feeling that deep, inexplicable connection intensify between us. The rooftop became our sanctuary, a place where the clamor of the world below faded away, leaving only the soft cadence of our voices and the unspoken understanding that we were both seeking something more. For the next few hours, Alexandre and I talked about everything, from the inexplicable sequence of events that had led us to this elite gathering to the inner longings that had driven us to seek out secret escapes at midnight. He revealed that his life, too, had been marked by a hidden pattern, a series of clandestine rendezvous that he had orchestrated with meticulous care, all in the pursuit of authenticity and passion. I found myself confessing my own truth, the quiet desperation I felt in the daytime, the sense of being trapped in a monotonous existence, and the yearning for moments that broke the boundaries of the expected. His empathetic gaze and gentle reassurances made me feel seen, understood, and validated in a way that I had never experienced before. As the night deepened, the rooftop transformed into a stage for unguarded emotions. The music softened, and the cool night air grew crisper, carrying with it the faint scent of rain and distant promises. In a moment of tender vulnerability, Alexandre reached out and brushed a stray lock of hair from my face. "Sometimes," he murmured, "we find ourselves wandering in the darkness, only to discover that the light we seek has been within us all along." His words struck a chord deep within me, and I felt a surge of emotion, a cocktail of hope, relief, and the exhilarating realization that I was finally embracing the parts of me that had long been hidden away. When the first hints of dawn began to soften the night's edge, I reluctantly took my leave from the rooftop lounge. Alexandre and I exchanged parting words, promising to keep in touch, though no grand declarations were made, only a quiet, mutual understanding that our encounter was a turning point. As I descended the staircase and stepped back into the cool pre-dawn air, I carried with me the memory of a night that had unraveled the secret patterns of my life, revealing a tapestry of hidden desires, genuine connection, and the courage to live beyond the confines of routine. In the days and weeks that followed, my life began to shift in subtle yet profound ways. The misplaced notification that had confirmed my secret rendezvous at an elite event had set off a chain reaction. I began to notice patterns in the seemingly random events of my life, a series of gourmet delivery receipts on nights when I'd felt inexplicably drawn away from my routine, forgotten calendar entries that hinted at midnight escapes, and now, exclusive invitations to luxurious venues that promised mystery and connection. I started keeping a detailed journal, recording every unusual occurrence, every discreet email, every odd message. Slowly, a hidden pattern emerged, a secret life that I had been living in parallel to my outwardly mundane existence. At first, the realization was both exhilarating and disconcerting. I wondered how I could have unknowingly arranged these midnight escapes. Was it my subconscious, a silent rebellion against a life that felt too safe, too predictable? Or was there someone behind it all, a mysterious admirer or benefactor who had orchestrated these encounters? I found myself oscillating between feelings of empowerment and vulnerability. I felt liberated by the thrill of living beyond the ordinary, yet I also questioned the cost of maintaining such a secret. My heart ached with the fear of being exposed, but it also soared with the possibility of true, unfiltered connection. I began to confront these questions head-on. I revisited each event with an analytical mind, piecing together the timeline of my secret escapes. I recalled the sumptuous dinners I'd unexpectedly received through gourmet delivery, the elegant confirmations that had appeared out of nowhere, and the exclusive invitations to upscale venues like the Celestial Venue and the Seraphim. Each instance was a clue, a fragment of a larger puzzle that revealed a side of me I had long kept hidden. I spent hours in solitude, poring over my journal and reflecting on the emotions that each encounter had stirred. In those quiet moments, I discovered that my midnight escapes were not acts of mere indulgence. They were expressions of a deep, intrinsic desire to live authentically, to taste the sweetness of risk, and to embrace the unknown with open arms. This introspection led me to a startling conclusion. My life had been guided by a secret force, perhaps a hidden part of myself that had been yearning to break free, or maybe even by an enigmatic presence who recognized my unspoken desires. I began to see that every misplaced notification, every forgotten calendar entry, had been a message, a gentle prod urging me to step out of the shadows of conformity and into a realm where passion and authenticity reigned supreme. Determined to reclaim this hidden part of myself, I started planning my own intentional escapes. I booked retreats to luxurious hotels known for their midnight ambience, sought out trendy bistros where secret meetings were whispered over gourmet meals, and even began experimenting with writing my own invitations, small notes of encouragement that I would leave for myself in unexpected places. Each act of self-affirmation was a small victory, a declaration that I was ready to live boldly, even if it meant shattering the carefully constructed facade I had maintained for so long. As time passed, my secret life became not just a series of isolated midnight escapes, but an integral part of who I was. I started to share my journey with a few trusted friends, people who, like me, had once felt the pull of a more authentic, passionate existence. Their reactions were a mix of astonishment and quiet admiration. Some confessed that they, too, had experienced moments of rebellion against the mundane, while others expressed a desire to embrace their own hidden dreams. These conversations were cathartic. They helped me realize that the courage to break free from routine was a universal yearning, a spark that lay dormant in many hearts until awakened by a single, fateful message. I even encountered others who were part of a clandestine network of midnight escapists, a community of kindred souls who used discreet notifications, secret emails, and covert calendar entries as a language of liberation. In private gatherings held in chic, hidden venues, we exchanged stories of transformation, shared recipes for gourmet dinners, and recounted the intimate moments that had forever changed our lives. There was a profound sense of solidarity among us, a recognition that we were not alone in our quest for truth, passion, and the freedom to be unapologetically ourselves. One particularly transformative evening, I attended an exclusive event at a renowned urban loft known as the Luminous Gallery, a venue that combined art, music, and gourmet dining in a celebration of life's hidden splendor. The invitation, received as a cryptic email with elegant typography and subtle watermarks, promised a night of sensory delight and soulful connection. At the Luminous Gallery, the air was thick with the scent of exotic flowers, the soft murmur of live music, and the unmistakable energy of people who had gathered to celebrate the beauty of the unknown. In that space, I felt a deep sense of belonging, as if the universe had conspired to bring together those of us who refused to settle for mediocrity. I danced, laughed, and even shed a few tears as I immersed myself in an atmosphere that celebrated vulnerability, creativity, and the unyielding quest for a life lived in full color. As I left the luminous gallery in the early hours of the morning, I realized that I had been irrevocably transformed. My secret midnight escapes were no longer acts of escapism, they were declarations of my newfound identity. I had learned to navigate the delicate balance between safety and risk, between solitude and connection, and between the known and the mysterious. Every misplaced notification, every gourmet receipt, had become a stepping stone on my journey toward self-actualization. Now, as I sit by my window on a quiet morning and reflect on the tapestry of my experiences, I feel an overwhelming gratitude for the mysterious forces that led me to this point. I no longer hide my midnight escapes or the secret rendezvous that once filled my nights with wonder. Instead, I celebrate them as part of the rich, complex mosaic of my life, a mosaic that continues to evolve with every discreet message and every daring act of self-discovery. The once puzzling email confirmation that exposed my hidden pattern of elite getaways has become a beacon of possibility, a reminder that life's most transformative moments often come in the guise of unexpected invitations. I have learned that to truly live, one must be willing to step into the unknown, to trust in the beauty of mystery, and to embrace the delicate interplay between fear and desire. As I close my journal for the day, I know that my journey is far from over. Every new notification, every unexpected gourmet receipt, is a call to adventure, a chance to explore further the depths of who I am and who I might become. I remain open to the whispers of destiny, ready to chase the magic that lies hidden in the quiet hours of the night. For I have discovered that the secret to a vibrant, meaningful life is not found in the safety of routine, but in the courage to follow your heart into the unknown. Looking back now, I see my midnight escapes as more than just a series of secret getaways. They are the chapters of a hidden narrative, one that has redefined my identity, rekindled passions I had long thought dormant, and taught me the value of living authentically. The misplaced notification that confirmed an elite event was the spark that ignited this transformation, and every subsequent rendezvous at a trendy bistro, a chic venue, or a luxurious hotel has been a step toward embracing the full spectrum of life. I have come to understand that the most profound adventures often begin with a single, unassuming message, a whisper in the digital void that beckons you to step outside the familiar. My journey has been one of introspection, risk, and ultimately, redemption. It is a testament to the fact that even the smallest anomaly, a gourmet delivery receipt, a puzzling email confirmation, can unravel a hidden pattern and lead to a life filled with wonder, connection, and the relentless pursuit of one's true self. As I continue to navigate the winding path of midnight escapes and secret rendezvous, I carry with me the lessons learned from every encounter, the beauty of vulnerability, the strength found in shared intimacy, and the exhilarating truth that life, when lived fully, is a tapestry woven from moments of daring and delight. This is my legacy, a life transformed by the magic of the night, a journey of self-discovery guided by the subtle language of misplaced notifications and secret invitations. And as I look forward to the adventures yet to come, I remain ever grateful for the chance to break free, to chase after the elusive promise of passion, and to live each moment with an open heart and an unwavering commitment to truth.